Monaco Pizza presents STP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Really? Why? Why are you saying things like that?
Steve, how's your coffee?
Tastes like 4 goals, Jesse.
You know, there's something that I think sums up the way that Leaf fans, and I think actually, just fans of hockey probably feel, Leaf fans more than anybody, of course, we get it. But fans of hockey feel about last night. Okay, because even though we lost, this is the happiest loss in Toronto's history.
Fans of hockey. Or fans of just the maple laughs, Adam.
Right.
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about...
Oh, we're going to spend all day talking about that kid who scored 4 goals even though the team lost? Typical Toronto. Toronto media, typical. Get used to it! It's only going to get worse when they start winning! And I've never been more sure that it's coming. I've never been more sure.
I want to say that Sportsnet dedicated, I think, almost a full 25 minutes to the Leafs and Jays off the top of their broadcast this morning.
Good! The way it should be!
I was like, and then
that's just until the Raptors start!
And then the 30-minute mark hits, and they reset the whole thing and do it all over again.
Good!
So here's what I want to say.
What is it? We talk too much about the Leafs, or we talk too much about McDavid? Which is it, little angry commenter? Get a better life. That's why you're leaving angry comments. You don't have Auston Matthews. We do. Ha ha. That's it.
Why are you yelling at Berkshire?
I don't think Andrew...
He was salty last night on Twitter.
Was he salty?
Good. Cough, cough. You still lost?
Yeah, we know why he's salty, though. He's upset.
He's a Canadiens
He's
fan.
Still mourning the death of his team.
Yes,
He's
and
still
by the way,
mourning the death of his own fandom.
there's something very interesting about the Montreal Canadiens that came out just this morning that I cannot wait to read to you.
Ooh.
But you're not... Oh, if you don't know about it, do you know about it, Jesse?
Carey Price is out for the next 2 years.
It is not that, but oh my God, you guys are going to love this. So Montreal stuff coming up.
Oh, so the rest of Shea Weber's early 30s.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So here's the deal. I got a text message last night, and I think this sums up what it's like to be a Leaf fan this morning and today and probably for the next week or so as we just live on Cloud 9.
Cloud 34.
It's from Mrs. Dangle.
Oh.
And she writes, FYI, Steve is crying on our couch right now over that Matthews feature. Now, the Matthews feature she's talking about is with Dave Matthews, his dad, not Dave Matthews Band, but...
His dad's name is Dave?
Is it Dave?
I don't think it's Dave.
It's Brian. 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 I was talking to Dave just before this. Paul Matthews. It's Brian Matthews.
Kuala Lumpur, France.
and so I write back, I'm like, we haven't seen it, but I'm going to make Caprice sit down and watch it with me so she can understand. Because I was teaching her yesterday about the game, because this year she's promised she's going to pay attention.
Yes, because
why would she have paid attention?
She doesn't care at all.
Well,
about sports.
She likes,
or like prior to your relationship.
Well, she was upset about. No, she liked EPL. She's a soccer fan.
Oh, so that's it.
Yeah, and she liked Phil Kessel, but when they traded Phil Kessel, she was like, "Well, I don't know anybody on this team," and I was like, "It's okay, don't get invested. It's not worth it."
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't. Who was it? Who from last year is there to be invested in it?
It was funny, but you're right.
So Steve is crying on our couch right now over that Matthews feature, which I rewinded for and made Capri sit down and watch. And then I said, I wrote an LOL, and she's like, he didn't even cry when we got married.
Yes, that's because I couldn't afford to waste any liquid in my body because I was so hungover.
Yes. I don't know. I've never seen someone more green
Look,
at the
it wasn't
altar.
my fault. It was the wedding parties. I wouldn't have done that voluntarily.
Yeah, he wouldn't have done that voluntarily,
but
Jesse.
That's another story.
Believe him on that.
Okay.
That was historic.
The night
was historic.
The performance
was historic.
Player.
Let's run through some of this stuff. Before the game, the Dear Toronto Brian Matthews thing was amazing. If you've not seen it, go to sportsnet.ca and check it out. Talking about where Auston came from, and really just how much passion he had for the game in a place where passion's just it just wasn't there, or assuming that it wasn't
just starting.
There. Just starting out.
And just for everyone listening who's trying to get into doing interviews and getting into hockey media, that's brilliant. Like, I have talked about Matthews kind of being a boring subject, that doesn't mean he doesn't have a story. We know he has a story.
He's just not particularly great at telling it.
Exactly.
He's writing it.
But someone
For us to
figured
write.
out, all right, who can tell the story of Auston Matthews other than Matthews on the ice? Holy smokes! Who can tell it with words? They discovered it's his dad. They got him to agree to it. They sit down with him. They do it properly, and they made a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
Now, Auston Matthews, with this, just so you know, is the 12th first overall pick ever to score in his first game.
Wow.
Only the 12th ever.
Wow.
But on that list, you've got Alexander Ovechkin. You've got Mario
Malkin.
Lemieux.
Mario Lemieux.
There were some no-namers, but mostly, I think Eric Lindros was one of them too. I don't have the list in front of me, but the fact of the matter is, except for like two guys who were drafted in the 60s and 70s, on that list, modern players, pretty good names up there. Now, there are only 2 first overall picks ever to score more than once in their first game.
And the other one is Alex Ovechkin. And I remember that game. Because I remember sitting in the Sir Oliver Mowat Calf.
Oh my God!
And everyone had just picked their fantasy teams for that year. And I remember the guy Stuart.
Mm-hmm.
He drafted Ovechkin, and I was like, "You're nuts! You're crazy! Why did you pick him so high? He hasn't even played a game yet." And then he scored 2 goals in his first game, and I was like, all right, beginner's luck. Beginner's luck for one of the greatest goal scorers of all time.
I just wanted... This is the most goals for someone in their first game in the modern era. The last time somebody scored this many goals in their first game was in 1917.
Get out!
Before the forward pass.
How about 100 years ago?
Yeah.
How about when the Leafs began?
Yeah.
How about when the NHL began? It's not all about the left. Shut up, we're talking.
Well, 99 years ago, and that's Wayne Gretzky's number. I'm just saying.
Need I say more?
So here's the deal. Now, other people have done it. I believe somebody was tied with him on the list, and Joe Malone had somebody tied with him on the list. But Joe had 5 goals in 1917, and this is before the forward pass.
That's insane. Yeah, so hockey used to be like rugby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where you couldn't pass the puck
Yeah.
forward. How would you even keep track of that?
I don't know. How do you make it across the blue line without going offside? You're all just dropping.
Maybe they didn't have offside.
Offsides didn't exist. Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, because you would.
Well, no, you could do it. I mean, it would just be difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
We now go into our 4th consecutive quadruple overtime with a score of 0-0.
Well, imagine too trying to get the puck.
The goalies have faced 3 shots apiece.
When you get the puck into someone's zone, if you can't make a forward pass, right?
You just got to carry it out.
You got to carry it out.
Yeah.
But imagine you're the defenseman. And you can't forward pass it up the boards. You can't dump it. You have to skate that puck out.
Yeah.
You'd never leave your own zone.
You would just have to make all your passes look like shots so that they would be allowed.
Yeah. Wind up pass. Like
no
a slap
forward
pass.
shots. They all have to be bank shots from behind the net.
Which was the style at the time.
Yes.
So that's I wanted you to know that stuff.
The Shelbyville Leafs.
In the modern era, it's the most ever.
Mm-hmm.
But
In
I
the
believe
first
there's
game.
somebody who he might be tied with. Don't quote me on that.
For which that?
For 4 goals in the first game.
He owns the
He does own that.
yes,
Okay.
First game. Yeah.
That's insane.
Mind blowing. Hasn't happened for the Leafs since 2006.
Matt Sundin.
Matt Sundin. That's amazing.
Now, I believe, and you want to talk about a player doing it all on their own, I believe that was the infamous game where the Leafs were fighting at the end of the 05-06 season to make the playoffs. They fell short by just 1 point.
I remember that. I'll never forget Clemenson starting for the New Jersey Devils.
No, that was the next season.
Oh, that was the next season.
This was the JSO Band Miracle Run.
Oh, right.
And
You're
Matt
right.
Sundin in this game put his team on tobacco. And the Leafs beat the Panthers 6-5. Sundin had 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points.
Oh my God.
He was so alone. He was so very, very alone.
The fact that anybody criticized Matt Sundin for anything, and he got criticized
For being bald and Swedish.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Basically, he was Swedish, and that was a problem.
Yeah.
Wendell Clark did it, I believe, before that in 1996. So, like, that just tells you it's pretty rare.
It's rare.
I asked Twitter yesterday, how long did it take the Leafs, a player on the Leafs, to get 4 goals last year? 4 goals. Get to 4 goals.
Oh, man.
That's a good question.
Now, that's a great question.
My estimate was 12 to 15 games because nobody scored on this team last year. I'm wrong, but it was my estimate. Who do you think it was? Because I have 2 answers and I don't know which one's true, but I'm going to give you the approximate according to people. I believe I have the right answer. If I'm wrong, you can feel free to correct me.
Okay.
Listen, there's a lot of prep into this show today, and there's some things that I can't get hammered out.
I think it might have been Tyler Bozak, actually.
Tyler Bozak. So you calling Tyler Bozak? How many
Last
goals?
year. Oh, how long?
How many games?
Oh,
Just estimate.
12.
12 games. Jesse.
JVR in 16 games.
Wow.
Now you remember, the Leafs, I think, won 1 game in October last
Yes.
It was a rough month.
year. It was bad.
A lot of close games.
A lot of close games, but they lost. The one bright spot on the Leafs last year was Leo Komarov.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And apparently it took him 7 games to get to 4 goals. Apparently.
Wow.
Now, I'm full disclosure, could be wrong on that. I tried to look into it. Very hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
But
I tell you what, if we're going the presidential route, that sounds right. Therefore it is.
right.
Sounds right. I'm going to take your word for it.
But that is, and by the second half of the second half of the second period, Auston Matthews had 4 goals. 4.
Now, I didn't want to tweet this because I don't think the guy deserves a pile on because he's had a very rough time. But David Clarkson had 5 goals in his first year as a Leaf. Matthews is 1 shy.
Fraser McLaren tweeted that he's like, whatever. I have 4 goals, career total.
Yeah.
Hashtag
PJ
bust.
Sox said the same thing. He's like, look, I don't believe in violence, but can someone sucker Matthews before he passes me in goals?
I want to run you through the box score too.
Okay.
We rarely look at box scores, but I think this is important.
Okay.
Okay. And only the Leafs box score on this one. Apologies, Sens fans. I know there are so few of you anyway, so I'm really not that worried about it.
Whatever.
Okay, so here's the first Leafs goal. Matthews
Yes.
from Hyman Nylander.
What a line.
Second goal, Matthews unassisted.
What a goal.
It was a hell of a goal.
What a goal. So
Now, I would say Auston Matthews assisted by Erik Karlsson's terrible giveaway.
Well, you know what though? Hustle from Matthews. And
Yeah.
actually, the reason I'm going through my phone right now. So I was going through, everyone had a GIF or GIF or whatever people are yelling at me for
Spiff.
pronunciation.
It's a spiff.
I say GIF, too bad. I was going through all the little things, the little tiny things in that goal. Go ahead and watch it yourself. You can even use me narrating if you want. He intentionally, at the blue line, puts himself between the puck and Mark Stone. He puts the puck, it looks like, through Stone's legs.
Mm-hmm.
Then he catches the puck before it goes too far so Mike Hoffman can't get it. Then he dekes out Mike Hoffman. Then he burns Kyle Turris and Hoffman. Then he enters the zone onside somehow with one of his teammates in the way. I can't tell if it's Nylander or Hyman. And passing by the ref. He avoids the check. Karlsson gets the puck. Stick lifts Karlsson, goes in, shoots it through a diving defender and Craig Anderson for the goal.
Did you notice too on the
That was just the second goal.
The Karlsson giveaway there is Matthews tapped him.
He did tap him
it made-
just before.
So it made it seem like he was going to come on one side and then went around the other side. It was
I
brilliant.
love him! I
Brilliant.
just love him!
I've never seen that. I've honestly never seen that.
I've never seen a Leaf do it, Adam. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it
I've
is.
seen it tons of times in the playoffs. I've seen it tons of times, just never in a blue and white uniform that didn't belong to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Now the third goal, the third Matthews goal,
Oh,
this is his hat-trick goal. I'm like, no way. I'm like, because I was like 2 goals. I'm like, okay.
yeah. Lost my mind on the first one. Lost my mind on the second one. Third one, I stood there stunned. I was like, who else is a left-handed shot on this team?
Matthews from Riley.
And kudos to Riley. Like, what a rush, what a pass.
That was a really Morgan Riley play. Those are the plays you want Morgan Riley to make.
Oh, God, I'm so excited.
Like that's Morgan Riley. That's what you want.
Yes.
And then the fourth goal, and again, the assists are the important part of this. Why it's bringing this up. We know who scored. Austin. William Nylander set him up beautifully. There's a defenseman between them. Nice little saucer pass. Boom. In the net. Like it was nothing.
And some people were jokingly going, Matthews is on pace for 0 assists this season. What a goal suck. You know what? You could give him an assist on that goal. Because it was Matthews to Nylander to Matthews.
Technically, though, Gardner slipped in there with a second assist. A Thomas Caberlet assist.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
How did on the fourth goal?
Gardner and Nylander's from... Gardner, Nylander from Matthews.
Okay, Gardner should be thanking Matthews for that one. He doesn't... Matthews was the second last player to have the puck.
I'm sure Gardner woke up this morning
He was the third last and the last.
Austin, I just really want to thank you for that extra assist. You had really no part in getting me it last night.
You just wait until
contract season.
Contract's up.
It's gonna be great.
You know what's better than a 39-point season? A 40-point season. You know what looks better on paper? That. Just saying.
You know what's better than a burger?
What?
Cheeseburger.
Hey. If you have never ordered a cheeseburger, why do you order cheeseburgers? Because you can tell the difference. That's why. That's why. Adam, how dare you?
Now, did you guys happen to see on the fourth goal when they...
It makes sense, Jesse. Don't laugh at me.
God bless Sportsnet for having this. It was like they scored the fourth goal, and it was like Sportsnet knew it was coming, and they had the camera angle right on Shanny and Lou. Like, it was like, goal, Shanny and Lou. Yeah. And the funny thing was watching them, Shanahan sort of cracking a smile.
He's trying not to be the happiest person on earth.
And Lou Lamoriello was like, yeah, I've seen this before.
Oh my God.
And I sat there and I was like, wow, they are my mom and dad. They are my mom and dad. Oh, you got an A? How come it wasn't an A+? Back to the drawing board.
You
kid.
got an A? Do it again.
Exactly.
Get another
They're
A.
just like, no, well, that's good. Happy for you. But
again. And again. And again. Oh, it's just beautiful.
It's a great picture. It is a really great picture of him. If you look at Shanahan, he seems
Shanahan's got that look on his face like, what am I going to do with him?
Little scamp.
Shanahan, who is a Hockey Hall of Famer, by the way, is looking up at the TV to see Matthews like he's got a crush on him. And I tell you what, Shanny, get in line. I have a crush on him too. The whole GTA does. Any hockey fan with sense has a crush on Auston Matthews. Are they still talking about them? They lost last night. Yes, they are.
I have a question.
Yes, Jesse?
Was Mitchell Marner the best player on the ice last night?
Man, he looked it.
Yes.
Mitch
Marner had 4 quality scoring chances in the first period.
Yes. Look for 5 minutes.
And that JVR, Bozak, Marner line looks very strong.
It didn't look bad.
I like... Here's the thing. And God bless Kadri and Komarov and Mahalik, but when I watched them play, it was like I'm watching last year's Leafs. Like, it was so frustrating because they couldn't... It was like they'd make the zone, and then Ottawa would get the zone out. And then they cross the blue line again, and Ottawa would take it out.
It's interesting that you say that because, okay, we're starting Matthews on the third line. That's what was said. Matthews led the team in ice time.
No, he didn't.
Even strength ice time, sorry.
Yes.
And rightfully so. I'm looking at the...
Well, actually, even strength ice time.
I'm looking at the top line on paper. Mahalik, Kadri, Komarov. And I'm like, okay, Kadri, I could see Babcock, riding that horse. I could see that. Okay. He's done it before. Komarov, team's lone all-star last year. He plays in all situations. You can play him on the power play, can play him on the PK. Good at 5-on-5, pesky. You can put him in offensive situations, shutdown situations, sure. Mahalik, you can stick handle if you play him like 12 minutes a game. But I didn't see him as a top-line contributor, and I'm looking at this line going, what is this? This isn't their best offensive line. It's not their best defensive line. It's not anything. What is this? And what it is, and all I ask of that line, as long as it's kept together, stop the bleeding.
Exactly.
Stop the bleeding. Don't be a minus line, and I'm not talking plus minus, but don't be a minus line. Don't be what causes the team's troubles. Just hold the fort. hold the fort until special teams, which is clearly what that line's for.
Yeah, and
To me.
I mean, Mahalik had a couple, especially in the first period. I thought he snuck around a few, like a forward and a defenseman, and got it deep in the zone.
He still got it.
Yeah.
I was
really impressed with him, actually. But I think the thing was, it was a throwback in the sense that, like, last night's game never felt out of reach. They lost the game. They lost the game in overtime. They got their pity point. They're tied for second in the NHL right now, but I just thought I'd let you know. But I feel like when I saw that line, it reverted to how hard it was to watch every game that we watched last year. We watched a lot of games for this podcast. Like, I am more committed as a Leaf fan now because of this show than I ever was before. And I was a huge Leaf fan. But it's because you wanted to break it down, and it was every game. It was this painful grinding. Oh, they got in the mid. No, it's back out of the zone. Like, they're in the offensive zone. Not now. And you're right. I feel like it was the same when they had when the half season happened. 2013, 2014, I think it was.
2012-13.
2012-13, which was really just 2013.
Yes.
They
it's like baseball.
Yeah. They had Kadri and Lupul on the third line. And they gave him third line assignments, and both of them scored a lot of points. And I feel like people are like, oh, well, Auston Matthews will definitely be the Leafs' number one center very soon. He is the Leafs' number one center. He's the best center.
Who were the Sens playing against him? Carlson. Almost all night. And the body language, Sens won the game. Carlson had a goal. I think he assisted on the overtime winner. Didn't have a bad game. But by the third period, he was visibly frustrated. He was flustered with Auston Matthews.
And I mean, he's a musketeer. So
he really is.
He is a musketeer.
He's got that D'Artagnan
and
going
he should.
on.
He does. My Caprice, my fiance, has a huge crush on him. She's like in love with him and his fiance.
It's a type.
Yeah.
I know a few girls who would be repulsed and a few girls who are like, oh my God.
that guy.
One.
That one.
That one.
But I think the key to all of that is that you have to remember if you've got the Kadri line with Komarov and Mahalik taking the first line assignments. Those guys are all defensively somewhat responsible. Kadri and Komarov, I would say more than Mahalik. Nothing against Mahalik.
Yeah, I honestly don't know enough about Mahalik yet to say that.
Yeah, but I thought they played solid. They were okay.
They were fine.
When you've got, even if you're playing your best defenseman against Matthews, if you're not playing your best forwards against him, that's good for the Leafs. That's my point. Keep them on the third line. Keep them with their third line assignments. Doesn't mean they won't light it up. Doesn't mean you can't play them the most. But if they're on the third line and you're playing them like their first line minutes, then they're gonna have more exposure and less competition, and that's kind of what you want.
Two people decide who your top line is. Your coach and the opposing coach.
That's a good point.
On the road, it's more so the opposing coach. The Senators decided the top line was Matthews, Nylander, Hyman. And why wouldn't they? They scored 2 goals in the first period.
I want to go
and then another 2.
I want to go through the ice time. I'm going to go through the total ice time here because I think it's important. You brought it up, and I wanted to bring it up too.
Sure, because I don't know what it is.
Okay, so total time on ice, special teams included. Sorry, Morgan Riley, 25 minutes. 25-45, which you'd expect.
Wow. And part of that because Hunwick got rocked.
Yeah, all the defensemen actually really. I wonder if Hunwick's not injured. I wonder if that's not a concussion because.
Oh, it's for sure. I mean,
I think
I don't want to get into
who knows?
Trouble. I tweeted something about Eichel's injury that I think I was right, but I shouldn't have.
What did you tweet?
Oh, I was like, that's an injury measured in weeks. Possibly months or whatever when I saw when he went down and crumpled. I mean, based on injuries I've seen in the past, that's what it looks like.
What's wrong with that?
I'm not offering my medical opinion. People are tweeting like, don't say that! I'm like,
ridiculous.
okay.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Your Twitter account, they can choose to read or not read, follow or unfollow.
They can also choose to yell at me.
Yeah. Well,
with
they
their
can.
fingers.
Yeah, they can. Sure.
Also,
but you were also right.
Very right.
You know
Yeah,
what?
but I didn't know that. I guessed right.
Well, just say it the next time. Just say it looks like an injury.
Fair enough. I'll still get yelled
Also,
at. Maybe less.
Or just say whatever you want.
All right. So
or just say whatever you want.
Total time on ice, guys. Total time on ice. Morgan Riley, 25-45. Who's number 2?
Well, no, it wasn't Matthews. Probably. You know what? Zaitsev.
Jesse?
Oh, no. So you can ask me.
You know?
Yeah.
Nikita Zaitsev.
Hey, there you go.
23 minutes and 57 seconds. So essentially 24 minutes. Not
I knew
bad.
that wasn't just me because there was a time where I'm like, I don't think he's left the ice. I think he's just been on the ice all game.
Now, that they were followed by Jake Gardner, Martin Marincin, and Connor Carrick. And I think the reason for all of that is basically everybody except Connor Carrick got over 20 minutes. The reason being Hunwick was out, right? That's gonna up your ice time if you're down a man.
What did Carrick get?
Carrick got 18:54, so 19 minutes.
Pretty good. All right.
Pretty good.
All right. I liked him. I liked him in this game.
I gotta say, I thought when we get to this, Martin Marincin didn't have
a great game.
No.
They got to fix that top pair.
Not good.
They're no good together. No good. They got to... I don't know if Riley should be playing the right.
So
which one of them it was playing the right.
If you were watching yesterday and you thought that Mitch Marner might have been the best player on the ice, Mike Babcock might agree with you.
Ooh.
Because he is not the forward with the most ice time, but he missed it by 1 second.
Which that's not an intentional thing.
No. Auston Matthews had 17 minutes and 37 seconds on the ice. Mitchell Marner had 17 minutes and 36 seconds on the ice. 1 second difference. That's literally like a stride to the boards.
Both under 20. Not talking about minutes. I'm talking about age.
Leo Komarov with 17:32. James Van Riemsdyk 17:25, and Nazem Kadri 17:17.
And there's another player, by the way, who I think a few Leafs are going to have a slow start. Frederik Andersen's one, and we'll get to him. JVR 2. Like, he's got to shake the cobwebs out. I know he got the World Cup,
but he got
wasn't a
injured
very
last
long
year.
one.
No,
for him,
and it wasn't a particularly positive one either.
No, it was awful. It was awful, and the guy hasn't played an NHL game since. Well, okay, except for last night and except for the World Cup, if you're counting that, and the preseason, since January 19th.
And
that's a long layoff.
No.
And practice. Yeah, I don't know why I said
no, but he hasn't played an NHL game.
And he's trained with his partner. And
he hasn't played a game since January. An NHL game, regular season game. There's going to be some time. But what I liked about him and what I liked about what Marner was, there was one point yesterday where James Van Riemsdyk was doing what James Van Riemsdyk does. So he was standing in front of the net. His butt was in Craig Anderson's mask. Like literally, Craig Anderson could have bit him. He was so close. And Mitch Marner feathered a little pass right in, and James Van Riemsdyk basically tried to do the between the legs shovel backwards, and it was a dead play. Anderson got it, but those things go in.
And a Marner breakaway.
And a Marner
crossbar. And Marner could have easily had a hat trick last night.
Yes.
I mean, quote from Babcock last night. I know Matthews scored the most goals, but I thought Marner was our best player for the first half. So there you go. He said that.
I would agree with that. He was great. And here's the other thing. And that's not a slight against Auston Matthews.
No, that's a compliment to Mitch Marner, who, by the way, has much more to prove than Auston Matthews.
Yep.
There's no talk about them sending Matthews back to Switzerland.
No.
You're gone to Zurich with you.
Babcock also said it was the best night he's had since he's been here. He said by 10 miles.
Yep. I believe him.
I believe it too.
You know what it was?
October last year.
Yeah. You know what it was? This is the first time, probably since 2013, that I have 100% in good faith cheered for the Leafs to win. Not worrying about tanking. Not worried about anyone getting fired. I'm not too worried about development. I mean, I am. But you know, I'm cheering for Nylander and Soshnikov and Kapanen at the end of last year. I'm not exactly cheering for a run of the wild card spot.
No.
This is the first time where I was like, they're in it. They're in it for like 3 years. This is the first time I felt that way, that they're in it for about 3 years.
Yep. Feels good.
It feels real great.
For fans of the Blackhawks, you don't know what this feels like.
Oh, no, you don't.
Fans of the Bruins, you don't know what this feels like.
You do, but you forgot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. We forget that the Blackhawks sucked for a real long time.
They did.
Before they were good. But even in 2013, I was looking at that playoff run like, what is this? How are they doing this? How are they pulling this off?
Yeah.
How long can Reimer keep this up?
And why is Ryan O'Byrne the seventh defenseman?
Oh, my goodness.
So we got to go for our first segment here. When we come back, I got a nice Throwback Thursday quote. We're going to break down the rest of the rest of the game, the rest of the team, the non-Matthews elements of this game, which I think are pretty interesting as well.
More Leafs talk?
Yeah!
Can't wait!
Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday.
You ready?
Yep.
Who said this?
Ooh.
If we had to go back and do one signing again last summer, it would be bringing in Stefan Robida.
I know who said it.
We brought in Robida for two reasons. One is we believe he can still play at a high level, or we wouldn't have signed him. And we think, and I think he's rounding out into form. The second reason is because of his character and leadership qualities. If you speak to anyone who's had him as a coach or a manager and around the league, they'll talk about his play, but they'll talk glowingly about him as a person, as a leader, and how he can have a great effect on the younger players.
Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
So the reason I bring that up is that is where we were exactly 2 summers ago. At the end of the season. Just over 2 years ago, that's where we were at.
What are you saying that quote was from Special Assignment Scout for the Anaheim Ducks, Dave Notice?
That's what I'm saying, man. Who at the time I believe was general manager and president or something?
What's his title? General manager for sure.
He's like
Special Assignment Scout, a.k.a. Here's a Job. His job should be called Here's a Job. That's one of those jobs.
Well, the Leafs are already paying him a pile of money to not work for them because he signed a 5-year extension.
Oh,
so
I'm sure.
He probably doesn't need too much to work too much.
Boy, howdy was he bad. Special Assignment Scout should be called You've been in the league a while, here's a job.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Leafs game, the first game, and not belabor the Matthews point, which has been belabored to death already and was belabored on Twitter last night. It was amazing. Let's talk about the not Matthews stuff. Let's talk about the fact that, we already mentioned it, Marner had 4 scoring chances last night in the first period.
How many shots did he finish with?
I think he was 6 or 7.
I think it was 6 by the end of the second.
Yeah, I think it was 11.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, well,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
The Leafs defense, in particular Marincin and Riley, terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. I
don't even know if I can give it to Riley. Every time I noticed something bad, it was Marincin.
2 of the goals at least were. Now, I'm not saying Freddie Anderson was very strong last night. We'll talk about that.
He was not.
But 2 of those goals, the play doesn't even happen if Marincin doesn't get beat or outmuscled. And it was so frustrating because you can tell, when it's the first game, so you still got confidence in everybody. But if that continues, let's say he does that to greater and lesser effects for the next 20 games, Riley is going to stop playing his game to compensate. And that's what you don't want. So you have to figure out what you're going to do. So we had Corrado and Polak sitting yesterday. By the way, if Roman Polak had been playing, he would have been turnstiled. That game was way, way fast.
Does not have the speed.
Doesn't have the speed.
And I wonder if it's going to be more of a matchup sort of thing. If you need a heavy in there.
Like you're playing the big bad somebodies.
Oh, I don't know, man. Who's the big bad anybody these days?
I don't know.
The Kings and who?
Yeah.
But even the Kings, up front, they're not big and bad.
And the big part's not the biggest problem.
No.
It's the good part. They're good at hockey.
So the goaltending.
Yes.
Freddie Anderson obviously got injured.
Let's talk about it.
Probably a little rusty.
Not good.
Not good.
New system. And, hey, he last year played behind Bruce Boudreau's Anaheim Ducks, where Cam Fowler is supposedly their problem on defense. That's a good decor. Mm-hmm. Simone Dupre, like we said, Fowler.
Hampus Lindholm.
Ricard Lindholm. No, Raquel's is forward.
Oh, forward, sorry. I'm trying Kevin Bieksa.
Ironically, I'm
Bieksa's on them.
Blanking on a lot of them. Bieksa, Vatanen.
Yeah,
I'm probably forgetting their best one.
Basically, it's a really great defense
It's
core.
a good core. It's a real good core, and he's going to this. A 5-man. Last night was a 5-man.
And Hunwick really,
decor.
There's a lot of people who are varying fans. We know Babcock used Hunwick a lot last year.
Yeah.
Probably because he didn't have a choice, which people have, I think, unfairly labeled Babcock as a huge Hunwick fan. He might be.
Maybe.
He might be. But chances are he just didn't really have much of a choice.
Hunwick is such a strange player. He's another one of those players, when I had a hate on for Bozak a few years ago, I would watch him play and I'd be like, it's all there. He can do all the things I want him to do. He just does other things. Hunwick is a guy, I think his skating is good enough to be a much better player than he is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
The advanced stats community hates him. And I don't think that's fully deserved. And I think that there's the old school hockey guys that love him, and I don't think that's completely. I think it's somewhere in the middle, but he is less good than the Leafs bill him. I'll put it that way.
Fine.
And
hey, hope he's okay.
Hope he's okay.
We should throw that out there.
By the way, want him to play great. Want him to be amazing. But there are things that about his game. I still feel like with him in the lineup that the problems would have been there. And that's the thing. The Leafs are going to have to really. I mean, there's going to be, guys, huge learning curves. We knew this. This is a great moment. But this Leafs defense is going to be a real problem. It's going to be a real problem. It's going to be a problem until they figure it out.
I think the key is Zaitsev. They want to ease him in. Mm-hmm. They want to make sure.
They sure didn't mind last night.
No, and that was a situation where they're like, he's playing well. We're short-staffed. Yeehaw. Let it roll. So if he does real well, I wonder if you can move Riley over to. If he does real good, they might give him the opportunity to play on the top pair there. Put Riley on the left. It's a new adventure, new opportunity for him. And then we can put Zaitse there on his right.
Corrado's a right-handed shot, right?
Sure is.
Hunwick's a right-handed shot, right?
Nope, left.
No, he's left. Polak's the lefty, right?
Polak is a righty.
Oh, so we got two righties that are spares. Okay, so
yeah, it's a very unique position. So most teams are not in that situation.
So if Hunwick is injured, who's in?
Well, I would assume Frankie Corrado, but it might be Polak. Either way, you're looking at a righty. The easy solution there is separate the pair of the two lefties.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm assuming Riley doesn't always play the right. I'm not sure, because Phaneuf was one of those weird lefties who likes to play the right.
Yeah, and Riley is too. I read that somewhere.
See, I'm not 100% on that. I don't know.
I don't know. I heard it somewhere too. I'm not. Who the hell really knows that?
It's got to figure it out. But I don't think it was a handedness thing. Martin Marinson's big. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's not he's not a Dustin Byfuglien type rock ya defenseman. But for God's sake, it's Derek Brassard. You got out-muscled by Derek Brassard. You got outworked by Derek Brassard. And some people are listening going, Brassard's good. Yeah, but he's not big.
No.
Brassard's strong. Yeah, but what are you, big for nothing?
The one battle that Marinson should win in a matchup with Derek Brassard is muscle.
That.
Just genetically should win that.
Now, are we talking about it if Freddie Anderson stops it? No.
Babcock
Probably
is,
not.
though.
Babcock is, but we're not. We're not. And it's not as costly.
Mm-hmm.
Leafs might win the game.
And it is one game.
It is one game. Okay, we got to put Anderson over the fire eventually. So, first goal, his fault. Gross. Should have gloved the puck. Didn't. Rebound. Goal. Second goal, crazy bounce off JVR.
Yeah, that
You're
was
not getting that.
No.
Awful luck. Not his fault. Third goal, Marincin.
And it was weak.
And the old John Tortorella, it'd be nice to get an occasional save.
Yes.
Fourth goal, Turris was left alone in front. Now, I don't remember what happened on that play. Well, it was the icing that the Leafs thought was icing but wasn't icing. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember who the defenseman was who let up on it. It was a carnival. It was a bad play. I won't hang that one on Anderson. It'd be nice to get a save there, but I won't hang that one on Anderson. And Turris in overtime. It's a real good shot. But I'd really like that one back. Even if we give Anderson the benefit of the doubt on the fourth and fifth goal, obviously the second goal.
It wasn't good enough.
2 goals. 2 goals you got to stop. That's a 4-3 game. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a good start. But what did I say? What have I said for a few podcasts now? I think he's going to start slow. And I just hope Leaf fans have patience with him, because I don't think they will. We've seen too many bad goalies go in and out of this town.
Well, they don't have a choice. So whether or not they choose to be patient, whether or not we choose to be patient, I'm choosing to be patient, because 82 games is a long, long time. And last year, I believe Anaheim, well, we know they stumbled out of the gate. It looked like they weren't going to make the playoffs at all. And then all of a sudden they caught fire. And there were moments last night where Freddie Anderson made some incredible saves.
Absolutely.
And I felt like he got more comfortable towards the end of the game. It looked stronger.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessarily show. If you read the box score, it doesn't tell the whole story. But I felt there were some saves yesterday. He straight up, flat out robbed guys.
Flash the leather.
He just needs to settle down.
And Leaf fans, before you turn on him, Toskala, that really fell apart. But he wasn't utterly terrible to start. And it was a movable deal. We know that because it was moved. Jonathan Bernier, that was a movable deal. It wasn't a long deal. Freddie Anderson is here, and he's here to stay. $5 million a year for 5 years. It has to work. It has to work.
Unless you make him available in the expansion draft.
Yeah.
If he's not worth it, why would the team take him? Why would the team take him?
Hey.
I can take Marc-Andre Fleury. Why would I take him?
How do you know?
Well, fair enough. Oh, yeah, maybe I can't.
Yeah.
But you can't bank on that.
No, you can't.
Assuming you can't bank on that, he's here. It has to work. There's no other option.
I have a question based on no facts. Do you think he's still a little injured?
I don't see why you throw him in there. You don't need to throw him in the first game if he's still a little injured.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I would have put Enroth in. If he's still a little injured, let him heal.
It'd be nice to start him in the home opener. But I don't think so because the original word from Team World, I believe, sorry, Team Europe, from the World Cup, I think was 1 to 2 weeks. And then the Leafs come in and they go, no. It's at least 3 to 4 weeks. As if to give him, the Lou flu. And then I thought like his first game with the Leafs was going to be last night. But he played a couple preseason games. Looked pretty bad, by the way. But he played in those preseason games. I think it's just rust. It's possible. It's possible he's still hurt. But his problem, because I think he got hurt, was it his shoulder? I think it was his shoulder.
Yeah, it looked like it from the replay. We never fully got confirmation on it either.
Yeah, that is an aggressive goalie. He likes to play out and he likes to challenge shooters. And if your D's not there to cover you and help out with rebounds a little bit, you're in trouble.
So last night was a combination of bad defense and shoddy goaltending. Let's just call it what it is.
It was the youngest team in the league playing their first game of the season.
And exactly.
That's a Team North America loss, 5-4 in overtime.
And it's funny because everybody's like talking about,
isn't it?
Oh my God, the goaltending, both sides, terrible. And then the Edmonton Calgary game, which we'll talk about. Oh God, the goaltending, terrible. That's what you want if you're a fan.
Yeah. Has Brian Elliott signed that contract extension yet, by the way?
I believe he has. He was bad too.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that wasn't good.
However, first game of 82. Freddie Anderson has a .495 goals against average right now.
Great. Solid.
And there's the only reason it's not 5 is because they went into overtime. 5 goals for every million that he makes.
Hey,
goal per million.
Pity point.
Is that Adam Wilde talking or all of Twitter? Get your yucks in now! Get him in now!
I'm just doing it to make Steve upset.
Get him in now.
Wow. So that we've just done basically the entire radio portion of this show. All on the Leafs, which it's been a long time since we've done that.
And I can't wait to do the online portion, all on the Leafs.
It won't be. But we do have one quick thing I want to say. Quick thing. Shout out to Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. The new arena looks fantastic.
Shout out to Ontario native Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid looked fantastic last night.
Gretzky and Messier on the ice last night looked cool.
Ontario native Wayne Gretzky. I'm not actually sure where.
I don't know where Messier is from. 2 goals, 1 assist.
Doesn't matter.
2 goals, 1 assist. Not bad. Not a bad start for Connor McDavid either.
That penalty shot was just unfair.
And I know
so unfair.
I know this is really unfair too. What I'm about to say is unfair.
Alberta-born Mark Messier.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm about to say is very, very unfair.
Okay.
But Jesse Puljujarvi scored his first goal on a terrible Brian Elliott attempt to save him. It's just terrible.
I haven't seen the highlights from that game. I was too busy making the video.
But I feel like I saw that goal and I'm like, Jarmo Kekalainen. I think because if you remember earlier in the day, Pierre-Luc Dubois, sorry, not Pierre-Marc, Pierre-Luc Dubois was sent back to the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles because he's not ready to be on Tortorella's Columbus Blue Jackets yet.
Now, we got to find the quote, but wasn't he like penciled in to make the team? He was supposed to make this team.
Now we will
Sunday.
Now we will not see him. Now we will not see him for the rest of the year. Dubois is gone because he's going back to the CHL. That's it. So because John Tortorella, everybody.
Blue Jackets fans, man.
Yeah.
I'm just so sorry.
And I'm
so sorry.
I'm sorry too because I know how it feels because we've been there.
Now, in fairness, though, ultimately that might be the best thing for him.
Yeah, definitely get rid of him while Tortorella's coaching because he probably won't be. I don't think he'll be coaching beyond this year.
No, but also weren't we making fun of it because Dubois was drafted as a center, but he only played like half a season of junior hockey at center?
Yeah, and he was also penciled to go, I think, 7th or 8th, and they picked him ahead of Jesse Puljujarvi, who was consensus number 3. Not even close.
Oh yeah, he was number 2 for part of the season. But why not let Dubois go back, play a full season at center? It might not be the worst decision, but it's not what you said, is it? It's not what you said. Speaking of not what you said, I'm sure we'll get to that in the online portion. One of our favorite punching bags. The season hasn't begun until we make fun of these guys.
Well, the Vancouver Canucks said a thing today, and the Montreal Canadiens fans did a thing today, and I both are juicy and amazing. We will talk about that in the online portion of the Steve Dangle podcast, available on iTunes at sportsnet.ca and anywhere fine podcasts such as ourselves are available. Podcasts. This podcast is brought to you by Panago Pizza. It is what's on the inside that counts. So we've got a couple things. One thing about the Montreal Canadiens, another thing about Trevor Linden and the Vancouver Canucks, who, besides the Columbus Blue Jackets, are going to be our favorite topic, I think. You know what? Vancouver number 1, Columbus number 2, I think, this year on topics of what the hell are they doing in the NHL.
I think it's a developing thing. It's developing. And there's a lot of teams jockeying for position.
Who else is competing in this, by the way?
Montreal, I am very quickly on the they're going to do pretty well train. Mm-hmm. I mean, they
still have Shea Weber. I mean, it's not PK Subban, but it is still Shea Weber, and he is still pretty good.
It's Shea Weber. They don't have Eller, but they weren't really using him. They have Andrew Shaw. Radulov is a good ad. Lehkonen should be a good ad.
Oh, and Carey Price.
Sergachev. Oh, yeah, and we kind of forget that, they're getting the MVP back. He was the reigning MVP. Might have gone for 2 straight.
Yeah, he was amazing last year. I mean,
that looks to be back to form.
That team was on fire.
Looks to be back to form. So, I mean, they're going to be pretty good. Now, here's the wrench in all of this. Any John Tortorella team that's bad
is going to be great.
That's a front runner.
But how long does Tortorella last while the team's bad? That's the thing. If they're hovering around 10th or 11th, I think they'll hang on to him. But if they're basement dwellers, like I think they will be, I really don't have a lot of confidence in not in the players in Columbus, because I actually don't think they're that bad. I don't have a lot of confidence in what John Tortorella can do.
If you are a fan of drama in the NHL, you are a Sergei Bobrovsky fan.
They live or die by him, eh?
You just piggyback this gong show, piggyback that heavy gong as long as you can, Sergei. You won a Vezina. I believe in you. Let's go. Now, the Canucks are very, very interesting because they are funniest, I think, when they say they're going to do one thing and then they fail.
Which brings us to today's quote of the day.
Yes.
Steve sent this to us while he was in the bathroom. I want you to know that. I think it's really important that you know that Steve sent us something while he was in the bathroom.
That is true. That's not uncommon.
And this is from Jason Botchford, who works for one of the major Vancouver newspapers. Is it the Vancouver? Is it the Gazette? Is it
I want to say the Province.
The Province. The Province. Yeah, it's the Province.
Okay.
So here's what Trevor Linden evidently said today. I said Gazette because I've got a quote from the Gazette coming up.
Oh, great.
Which is Montreal Gazette.
Yes.
Jason Botchford, quote, "The challenge I have is there was this notion that this would be flipped around quickly. The challenge I have is that there was this notion that this would be flipped around quickly." The person who said what I just said is Trevor Linden. To which Jason Botchford said, "Wait, what?"
You are the one who implanted that notion. You started that.
Steve,
Yes.
for those of us who might be confused, what do you think that Trevor Linden thinks he's saying?
Hey, we're gonna suck. Hey, I know we paid Louis Eriksson a lot of money, but we're gonna suck.
There was this notion that it would be turned around quickly, flipped around quickly.
Turn what around, and what have you done to turn it around? That's
Well,
such a...
they're a team. They call themselves a playoff team. If you're a playoff team, they call themselves that. I'm not saying they are. I definitely don't think they are. They call themselves a playoff team. What do you need to flip around if you're a playoff team?
You need a better team.
No, but what I mean is, if you're a playoff team, if you are saying to the public, we are a playoff team,
Yes.
then the last thing you want to say to the public is, well, we really need to flip this thing around, and it's going to take time.
because they finished poorly last year. Like that, they can't deny. They thought they were better than they were, and they weren't. So that's what they're flipping around.
They are not who they thought they were.
But they let themselves off the hook.
They did.
And
now they're trying not to let themselves off the hook by saying they're a bad team.
this is what makes them front runners.
They're changing expectations, basically, right?
Now, though, if we're going to rip on the Canucks, because right now they're going, why always us? How about we beat up on the Boston Bruins a little bit? Oh, have I got your attention, Canucks fans? Jeremy Jacobs, the hated owner of the Boston Bruins.
Who I kind of I like because he's cantankerous, and he's the throwback to the the owners of old with a cigar in his hand and telling those pesky players that they weren't going to unionize.
Well, he's not as cantankerous as Jerry Jones, correct?
Not as Jerry Jones, or may he rest in peace, Mr. Snyder from Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
He was great too. God, he was awesome.
See, but like, if I may quote Super Troopers, his shenanigans were cheeky and fun.
Yeah.
Jeremy Jacobs' shenanigans aren't fun at all. Evil shenanigans. He says he expects a deep playoff run from the Boston Bruins. Oh, do you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, do you? So at least the Canucks are backpedaling, looking at the roster going, oh, damn, we have messed up. This is not good. Crap. The Bruins are just like, Leroy Jenkins! They are going for it. We got David Backes now. Here comes a cup. Leroy Jenkins. I think the Bruins could be in there. Could be in there. Just saying. Yo, who's the Bruins' backup goalie?
Good question. No idea.
Because I was saying, they still have Tuukka Rask, but who's there? I think it's Anton Hudobin. They got him back. Jesse's in there. I mean, any team with Patrice Bergeron has a shot.
Yeah.
Anything.
And Brad Marchand.
Who is not
And
playing
Brad Marchand.
in the
What?
first game of the season.
Why?
He didn't fly out with the team. He's injured.
Oh,
So
my
who's-
goodness.
Their backup goalie is Skudobin.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So the Canucks are going to be interesting because now what you're watching is the spin is changing.
The spin is spinning.
The Canucks axis is a little different than it was maybe a month ago. Spinning on a different axis. And it's going to be fun to just watch this sort of play out because it happened here in Toronto too. Really? Like, Dave Notice would drop these quotes in and you're like, because that's not what you said 2 months ago when you said, "Ooh, this team is going to be a playoff team."
This.
Yeah. So anyway, that will be fun to watch. One thing I do think is great. Well, first off, I want to quickly mention this. This sucks, and then we'll get to something that's great. Jack Eichel, Sidney Crosby, and Carey Price all not playing in their first games.
And
that
Patrice
sucks.
Bergeron.
And Patrice Bergeron.
And Jonathan Huberdeau.
So Jack's out 4 to 6 with the high ankle sprain. Carey Price has the flu, and I'm wondering
is
now.
Is that what they said? 4 to 6?
4 to
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, nailed it. Second of all, what I read today was they don't even expect him to be on his feet for 2 weeks.
Well, if you
Now,
watch the replay,
He shouldn't be.
your leg doesn't move that way.
No.
Yeah, I was confused as to what that meant. Like, did he mean to say he won't be skating for 2 weeks?
He won't be walking.
He'll be on crutches.
Jeez. So a high ankle sprain,
It's
like,
ugly.
it's real bad, eh?
Not good.
It's about on par with a break sort of thing.
I wouldn't say it's on
Pretty
par
close.
with a break. I think a break's more like 2 or 3 months to heal properly.
Tell you what, any medical students or
Would love to know.
medical people, let us know.
But like my dad used to pop his ankle out all the time because he's a water skier. So he'd get on the boat, he'd get on the back of the boat, and you
No.
yeah, he used to pop his shoulder out and he used to pop his ankle out, and You'd hear him.
I don't want to hear this.
We drive the boat around him, and you'd hear that. You hear this panting, this and he'd be in his wetsuit, and he would haul his ass up on the dive deck on the back of the boat on our little speedboat, and then he'd get up on one foot, and you'd hear, and then you'd
slam his foot down. You're kidding.
And then he'd jump back in the water. Because according to him, the pain ends as soon as it goes back in the socket.
Oh,
now,
perfect.
Here's the thing. My dad would do this and would continue to water ski, and the next day, his ankle would be
so swollen.
A Royal Roman shade of purple. Like, just the craziest and swollen and ugly. I don't even think that's as bad as a high ankle sprain, although I don't know. I don't actually know.
Did he walk?
Yeah, he could walk-ish.
Water ski.
But water ski. Because it hadn't swollen up yet. Yeah. As soon as it starts swelling, then it starts to become like more of a pain. But I feel like that's got to be Jack Eichel's ankle this morning. Yeah, Carey Price obviously has got the flu. That's got to be a pretty damn bad flu. And by the way, when you have the flu, you can't move. You really have the flu.
Yeah, that was.
There's something a bit weird about that, though, don't you think?
Let's say it's the flu, but that's surprising.
And Penguins fans and media are a little bit mystified about this concussion that Crosby got. He's like, hey guys, I'm not lying, but it's odd because everybody who was at practice was like, where did you have the concussion?
And he's skating. He's wearing a non-contact jersey, but like he's not in a dark room like Mark Savard or Joey Hishin.
So that's a good sign.
And they say he's day to day, which is a little odd as well.
So these are weird. The flu thing and the Sidney Crosby thing are weird. I wonder if they're saying concussion and it's actually something else. And can you do that?
Now, see, I wondered that. But if you're the Penguins, like, because other players, I think you can say that to throw other teams off the scent or whatever. But why would you do that with Sidney Crosby? You're scaring the shit out of your fan base.
Why wouldn't you? You're also distracting them from what else is the problem. If you want to hide the problem, that would be the thing to do. I'm like, this is really tinfoil hat. Like, this is straight up conspiracy theory.
Hide the concussion. I think this would be the thing they would want to hide and not expose to everybody. Right?
That's what I mean. That's why I don't think it's a concussion.
No, that's why I think it is a concussion, because they're revealing it. And this is the thing you wouldn't want to. If it was a concussion, they would say upper body injury, or if they were trying to hide the concussion.
And why is he skating?
Maybe the skating is.
I don't think it's a concussion, guys. I really don't.
Because they announced concussion, and then the next day he's taking a picture with his cup ring, and he's skating. So
my guess is
not every concussion's the same, but why wouldn't you take every precaution with Crosby?
It's a bruise. It's a really bad bruise somewhere. I don't know. He got it at the World Cup.
That?
Why not say, he blocked the shot?
The concussion is worse than the bruise. So why are you? So I think it is a concussion because they would say if it's a bruise, right?
I have no idea.
This is the worst case scenario we're in right now, that he has a concussion because of last year.
It's weird. The whole thing's weird.
Strange.
And the flu thing is weird too with Carey Price. It's very weird. I mean, the flu is the flu, but a flu lasts at most 3 or 4 days.
Well, and the other thing was the Habs Sabres game.
I know there's medical
night?
students screaming at the radio right now. I'm talking about normal flus.
So was the Habs Sabres game last night?
No.
It's tonight, isn't it?
Because they announced he's not playing tonight. So I was like, there's
But they announced it 2 days ago.
Yeah, the term is can't come into work tomorrow sick. You know what I mean? You ever get so sick where you're like, I'm not going to work tomorrow?
Yeah.
I had the flu last year, or in the spring this year, where it was like, it was so bad that I knew on Friday that I worked breakfast television in the morning and then fell off a cliff at noon and had already called it in sick, and I said I can't do the show, and I knew I probably wouldn't even be back Monday.
Wow.
It was you just know.
So you know what?
So it might be.
Let's take off the tinfoil hat and assume he's sick. That's an ass-kicking cold.
Yeah.
Price has.
It's brutal.
Think of how sick he has to be to not play in advance. Or maybe he's just, I don't know, maybe they're just showing faith in Al Montoya. Like,
how much do they miss Michael Condon now? Right?
Well, this Lindgren kid's supposed to be pretty good. But Montoya's a capable backup.
Oh, for sure. I'm just kidding.
He's a capable
backup. They just waved to Condon. That's why.
I know.
Now, we have got to talk about how mad Montreal Canadiens fans are. We know how mad Montreal Canadiens fans are, but did you know that they're $20,000 mad?
$20,000.
Like they're like we've been mad as Leaf fans, but we've never put a cent towards our anger, except for the money we've invested in the equipment to rant on this show.
We've been like $200 mad. We'll throw a jersey on the ice mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would like the people in this room I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But
We've
yeah,
been $6.99 mad. Throw a box of waffles.
sure.
On the ice.
Yeah, Leaf fans have been. And that's true. Very few. Very few. This is how bad and how angry Montreal Canadiens fans are.
And this is just, it's so beautifully Quebec.
Have you read this?
Oh yeah, I have. I read it on the train right here. Americans and Europeans, you might not get it. There really is no Canada like French Canada. It's the best Canada in the land.
It's true.
The other Canada is a bullshit Canada. If you live here for one day, you'd understand. It's just, the Habs are a religion. In
They have their
Montreal.
own TMZ.
They do.
They
do,
have an account that literally follows NHL players around and takes pictures of them.
You can
which is
be.
weird.
There's no other province
Yes.
in the country, I'm pretty sure, where you can be a music star just there.
Yeah. No. Well, Alberta a little bit. Alberta you can.
I mean,
Yeah, in
you'd
country.
have a better insight on that than
Yeah.
I. But it's the Habs are a religion, and I think McGill University has a course called that. The Montreal Canadiens as a religion.
Wow.
It's one of the universities in Montreal.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, I would take that in a second. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this was a $20,000 note to PK Subban posted in the Montreal Gazette. The reason it's a $20,000 note is that whoever bought it, A, owned season's tickets, B, bought the spot, and it cost $20,000 to take a full page ad out in the Montreal Gazette.
That's how much?
$20,000.
Jesus.
So the Montreal Gazette, this is how mad this person is. Mad.
How are newspapers dying? That's a lot.
Well, things are expensive. Newspaper stuff is expensive.
I mean, yeah.
They lost money on that deal.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I have no idea.
It says, thank you.
$76,000.
It says, thank you, Pernell Carl Subban, for your time as a Montreal Canadian. And by the way, this is a little bit long. Bear with me, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
I am a season ticket holder and a lifelong fan. I grew up on the prairies watching and falling in love with with Canadiens hockey and all the great players on the dynasty teams of the 70s. I truly thought that my love of the Habs was forever. I could not imagine an event that would change that. Next paragraph. But this trade made me feel different. Now, I feel anger, disappointment, and embarrassment over the treatment of PK Subban by team management. The same sentiments many fans felt after the Patrick Waugh trade. As a player, PK, you are amazing. You brought us out of our seats, and were consistently one of our best players. You played your best hockey in the biggest games, a true sign of a champion. You were all anyone could ask for. You understood what it meant to be a Montreal Canadian and treated the jersey, franchise, fans, sport of hockey, city of Montreal, and the country of Canada with respect. But as great as you are on the ice, it pales in comparison to the young man you are in person. PK, you are an amazing hockey talent and an even more amazing individual. As a parent, I know the importance of role models for children. I want my children to grow up to be healthy, functioning young men and women who work and contribute to society. You display these qualities as well as any young man I have seen in my lifetime. You are an amazing and influential role model for my children, and I'm going to miss not having you as a Montreal Canadian. By the way, we're halfway through.
Holy smokes.
While my best...
Well, he's got to get his money's worth
Yeah.
out.
Well, hey, he paid $20,000 for this. While my best wishes remain with the 2016-2017 Montreal Canadiens players and their families, my season tickets for this year remain unopened. My family and I will only be attending one home game this season, March 2nd, 2017, when Nashville visits Montreal. This season, more than any I can recall, supporting the Montreal Canadiens organization means supporting the decisions that have been made by our general manager and coach. I do not and will not support Marc Bergevin and Michel Therrien. And make no mistake, my fellow fans, attending games at the Bell Center is a vote of confidence in their leadership. In the near future, I will be announcing an initiative in this regard and will be asking my fellow Habs fans for their help and participation.
Oh, I must have skipped that part.
In the meantime, PK's number is hanging with the greats in a little Canadiens area of my home, just like it should have hung one day in the rafters of the Bell Center. Don't look back, PK. Onward and upward. As a fan and a parent, thank you so much for everything you have done and continue to do. All the best, Dr. CK and family.
Andrew Berkshire.
Yeah.
Dr. Berkshire.
And the hashtag is MTL4, like the number 4, Subban. So watch this. That cost the man 20 grand. Obviously, he's a season ticket holder, so he's got some money.
Yes. Yeah.
But
He's a doctor.
But if that doesn't sum up how 70 to 80% of Montreal Canadiens fans feel right now,
A lot of them.
I don't know what else will. And that, to me, is this is amazing. I can't wait to watch this. And if you're, let's not be robots for a second here. You are the owner of the Montreal Canadiens. Okay, you're Jeff Molson. You've signed Bergevin. You've signed Terry.
Treat our best player. Oh, sorry. Method acting.
You've been convinced by.
Carey Price is still there.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, that's true. You've been convinced by Bergevin
Shut up.
that trading Subban was a good idea and that it was going to be good for the team. And Don Cherry has even alluded to the fact that he knows why Subban was traded, and he's going to reveal that on Hockey Night in Canada this Saturday. Great tease, which we will watch at Hockey Night in Cinema.
That is great tease. Don.
Yeah, he's teasing like I'm teasing, man. Come on. I find this to be.
Hockey Night is brought to you by Panago Pizza and something for everyone.
I find this to be one of the greatest single things that has happened in hockey, not on the ice, ever. I read this morning and I was like, this is awesome. And if you're Jeff Molson, don't tell me that you're not questioning yourself just a little bit right now. You can't tell me that a guy who's been a season ticket holder feels passionate enough to spend $20,000 to put that in the Montreal Gazette. Don't tell me that you're not questioning things. And the more you question things, the more you make Jeff Molson question things, the closer Bergevin and Therrien get to being booted.
Let's start with bravo to the doctor who wrote that.
Right.
Very good.
He's right.
Very good piece. 2, that initiative that you mentioned at the end, I am willing to bet he makes back every dollar and cent that he spent on that newspaper article.
I don't think he's going to make money back on that. I don't think it's a money event. I think it's a campaign.
No, he's not doing it to make money, but he's going to make back what he spent on it. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
haven't
think
seen
so.
what it is yet. 3, you could have got about as many eyes on it if you just made a note and threw that shit on Twitter. I'm just saying. Or on
This guy's clearly
Instagram.
an older guy
No, I know.
who's buying newspaper ads.
And you are making a statement.
You're making a statement.
You are making a statement.
And you're doing it in
newspaper.
Montreal's probably the oldest and at least most revered newspaper.
I
That's
wonder
why
if it
he
was in
chose
French as well. It must have been.
Must have been.
It's very interesting. And what's going to be great is even if the Montreal Canadiens do well this season.
You said doo-doo.
Do. If they do well, it doesn't matter because everyone is still going to compare the seasons of Weber and Subban, and they're also going to compare the Predators to the Canadiens. If the Canadiens finish the season with 95 points, the Predators better not have 96 and up. I'm telling you. Because, it's going to be great. EA Sports, their simulation, had the Predators beating the Canadiens in the Stanley Cup final. You know how many shades of pink I would be tickled? That would be drama at its best.
Bergevin and Therrien would say, but at least we made the finals.
Every Habs fan would. I would too if I was them.
Yeah.
We'll see if you get that close again. But, hey, you never know.
I don't know, man. I look at that.
price matchup. I don't know.
That is theater, man. I love that stuff. Love that stuff.
It's too great. And hey, you know what? How great Would it be great for the show if the Canadians won the cup? I would have to
For
wear.
us?
I would have to wear a carton of eggs on my face. I think we all
I
would.
suppose so.
Berkshire would.
A lot of Montreal writers would.
I would go to Montreal to pick Berkshire up to drive them here.
Here's the thing. I don't think they're going to win. I'm quite confident in the fact that they're going to do well. As long as Carey Price is there, they will do well. The problems in the Montreal
Are you
Canadiens.
calling the Canadians the 2003 Leafs?
I'm calling the Canadiens' future in doubt. And I think, this season's fine. The next season's fine. But what about when Carey Price doesn't want to re-sign there because he can't stand Michel Therrien?
Let's pretend that's not the case. Let's pretend everything's hunky-dory. I got to give props to Habs fans. I really do. And this is a great example. And a buddy of mine, who actually now works for the mayor of Toronto, but he's a Habs fan. I won't out his name. I went to school with him, and he was talking about Habs fans. When the team is shit, fans will just stop going.
Oh,
They'll stop going. Now,
Yeah.
Leafs fans do that too.
But it took a couple years of us being
It
horrendous.
took years of it, and the ticket is paid for. In some cases, Montreal, I don't think it is. And they are not afraid to tell their team, fuck you. They are not afraid to let their team know how pissed they are. And they do it respectfully for the most part. And they do it with confidence. They don't throw a fit. They don't throw stuff on the ice. They do it like that. And they do it with their wallet. You still bought the jersey, stupid.
He still bought season tickets.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
That's fair.
I feel like, fine, you can financially support the team or whatever. I feel like not showing up is still making a statement. I feel like empty seats are a statement, whether the tickets are paid for or not. And in Toronto, by the way, you could not give away tickets. People didn't want to go. We went to a game for a promotion with the Blake and Wild show.
Oh, was that the Rangers game?
It was an Islanders game.
Islanders.
And it was an exciting game, and they lost in overtime, and Tavares scored, and he's a Toronto kid.
Oh, it was a good game. I remember that.
It was the last good game of the year for the Leafs that particular year. There could not have been a less excitement in the building. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Like 12,000 people, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
No, really?
It wasn't a lot. By the end of it?
Yeah,
it was ugly.
by the third period.
Oh, by the
Yeah,
end of
by
it.
the
yeah.
end, yeah.
And the Leafs were up.
Yeah.
The Leafs were winning, and people were leaving.
Yeah, but they don't know that heading into the game.
No, that's true.
They think the team's going to lose, so they don't go.
Yeah, I mean that's true. And
Not only are they going to lose, but I'm not going to be entertained while they lose. That's what it was a couple years ago. Last year, it was they're going to lose, but at least it'll be a little exciting. This year, it's, you know what? They might win.
Montreal, they're expected to win, and they might lose, and that's the spot you don't want to be in.
You know what? I think they're going to do just fine.
I do too.
But the Habs doing just fine is great for the drama. If they suck right out of the gate, that's no fun. I want the Ducks to be good out of the gate. I want Randy Carlisle's Ducks to be on fire with Bernier getting 5 straight shutouts. That's what I want. Because that's hilarious. Anderson tanking while Bernier leads the Ducks to first place in the West. That's fun. It's fun.
You're a psycho. What the hell is your problem?
What was your first clue?
What did you just say? You want Anderson
What
to
I
be back?
said is perfectly plausible. That's what I just said.
But the fact that you want it, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. You can't want that.
Some men just want to watch the world
And
burn.
you're one of them. Stop wanting to burn Frederick
Some
Anderson's
men-
career. He's our goalie.
Just want to watch the world burn. You.
All right. And finally, a couple things.
I thought it was funny.
Hockey Night in Cinema. Hockey Night in Cinema this weekend. We have a 50-person wait list.
Yes.
Does not mean you won't get on. If you sign up for the wait list, it's on the Eventbrite page. Steve will tweet this link out at the end of the show just to throw your, just in case you want to throw your name on there.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not coming, please relinquish your tickets. We ask you to please relinquish only because we want people who are there and can be there to be there.
Yes.
We just want to fill it, right? And it's sold out in literally 2 seconds. But I still want, if you can't come, that's okay. We will miss you, but we'll do it again. But give your tickets up.
And help me out. For the Marlies game before that, if you buy a ticket, you're getting on the ice.
Yes.
After the game.
Yes.
No ifs, ands, or buts. That's it.
No buts.
Okay. So now that that's out of the way, I'll tweet that link too. Buy tickets to the Marlies game.
It's $20.
$20. And anyone who was worried about missing game 1 of the ALCS between the Jays and Cleveland team.
Is it game 1 or game 2?
Game 1.
It's 2.
Oh, is it 2?
2.
Oh, I'm
Game
sorry.
one's Friday.
That's right. It's game 2. The Blue Jays game. Marlies game starts at 1. Mm-hmm. Should be done around, 3:30?
Yeah. We'll go for a quick skate.
Go for a quick skate. If you want, you can head off somewhere, watch the Jays game.
Because it's going to be mid-afternoon, right?
4
4
p.m.
o'clock.
first pitch.
So that's perfect.
4:07.
Perfect. And then when the Leaf game starts, there's going to be a big ceremony.
By the way, I have it on really good authority that the opening ceremony is going to be Montreal-esque.
Mind-blowing.
They said, the person who said it's going to be, because it's the first game of the centennial season, it's going to be unbelievable. And
Can't wait.
And the person is well connected. We'll put it that way.
Can't wait. Anyway, the Leafs game should start after the Jays game is already done. I would assume.
Yeah, but it's baseball.
But it is Baybaugh. And Baybaugh don't care.
And what a Toronto sports fan's dream on Saturday.
It is
Marlies, Jays,
from
Leafs.
1 o'clock until
10.
Let's say it's 9 straight hours of Toronto. Toronto is the center of the universe that day, as it should be. I think the Argos play too. I'm not sure. I think they do.
If you have not seen it yet, you got to check out the guy jumping on the ice at the Storm game last night.
Yeah. I think it was in Mississauga.
Oh, Mississauga.
Yeah.
Well,
They were playing the Guelph
Mississauga. Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
My favorite part about it, I could run it. The call is quite funny. The guy who makes the call is funny, but I'm not going to because we don't really have the time. The best part about it is when they have a guy go on the ice, you're not supposed to shoot him. So they're shooting him like you're not like with the camera. You're not supposed to shoot him. So then they move the camera back to center ice while the refs are trying to deal with this guy. So he goes and he throws himself, and you never see it on camera, into the net. And he scores. And the refs don't try to wrestle him off the ice. They tell the players to go back to the bench. And so the camera's at center ice, and you see the guy and the ref's chasing him. He's running down the ice, and the refs are going after him right in the middle of the camera shot, puts himself into the other net before someone can get out there and pull the guy off the ice. It's like, oh, sorry, we got to get our security guy has to put his skates on before we can bring this guy down.
Well, now, I worked for the Steelheads. I never saw that happen, and I don't know what the protocol is for when that happens. The refs didn't jump on him. Were they allowed to?
Yeah, maybe not.
They might not have been allowed to. There are places where if, someone's robbing your store and you intervene, the company can fire you. Like, it's in your contract. That's how much they don't want you to put yourself at risk. I get you're trying to have a good time, dude. I get that there was no one in the arena and you were just bored. But it's a junior hockey game. Those are minors on the ice, dude.
They're kids.
It's creepy. It's weird. What are you doing? Also, what day is it today? Thursday? You did that on a Wednesday night.
Hey, sometimes people got to do stuff.
How bad do you need the rest of the week off?
Jesse, you grew up in Mississauga. How boring is it there?
It's pretty boring.
It is pretty boring.
Yeah.
It is the 6th largest city in the country, and I have no idea how. Because
I do.
What happens?
I know
in
how.
Mississauga?
It's right next to Toronto, and it is Toronto, and just not in name.
You can't
It is
have
Toronto.
a 600,000 person suburb. There's got to be some kind of industry there. What is it?
Malls. It's a lot of malls.
Malls aren't an industry.
There's malls.
They're
We
malls.
have the best malls in the country.
They are
We
good
got
malls.
some good malls.
We got Dixie Mall. We got Erin Mills Town Center. We got Square One. We got
Anything-
Sheridan Mall. We just got malls on malls.
There's malls on malls.
Anything west or northwest of Toronto is just malls and big old trucks.
We got Sherway. Mean Girls was filmed at Sherway.
Was it?
Yeah. We got the best malls in the world.
I've already forgotten that information that you just said. It's left. It's
Shout
left my
out
life.
Mississauga Malls.
And they have a nice waterfront.
They got an apartment building shaped like Marilyn Monroe.
It's supposed to be a tornado.
But aren't they called the Monroe Towers?
They are.
Are they?
Because
Yeah,
they're
but-
supposed to be after the curvaceousness of Marilyn Monroe.
They're tornadoes.
But they look like tornadoes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's way cooler.
You know, to anybody listening from out of town, they're not going to get any of this. But basically, where Jesse grew up is pretty boring. Jesse's not boring. Where he grew up is. I think that's why Jesse's interesting. He had to find ways to be interesting.
See, I didn't get in Roman candle fights, so I don't know how interesting I am.
Hey, don't hate on Scarborough. No, wait. So did they catch the guy or no?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. He got off the ice eventually.
Yeah, no, he's still running around.
No, like, I mean, he got off the ice, but that doesn't mean he was apprehended.
He
or
was
arrested.
apprehended.
Yeah.
He was apprehended.
He didn't find his own way off the ice. Just nilly-willy.
Like a junior hockey game.
Climbs back over the glass.
Nobody says anything.
You know
for the
what? He
rest of the
probably
night.
could have with the amount of time he had on his hands. Like, he put himself into both nets and he didn't have skates on.
Also, there's probably 6 people at the Steelheads game on a Wednesday.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like a junior hockey arena with no one in it is fairly easy to get in and out of. There's one straight path from literally the ice to the front door.
Yep.
You could just run out.
Yep.
Anyways.
Hey, I just want to shout out to Chicago. One of the strangely, one of the younger teams in the NHL now.
Really?
Did you know that Chicago had 5 rookies in the lineup yesterday?
Wow.
They played like it
take
too.
Hossa off the ice.
Yeah, they played like...
And
So what were all the scores? Because
Chicago was 5-2 over St. Louis. I think Edmonton won 5-3.
Chicago beat St. Louis.
No, sorry, St. Louis beat Chicago
5-2.
5-2. It was bad. There's actually there's a highlight you should look up if you haven't seen it yet.
I gotta watch them all.
I think it was Duncan Keith tried to make a pass backwards to Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane missed it. No, Seabrook tried to make a back pass to Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane missed it. The goalie's already out of the net, and it's in their zone. Then Duncan Keith is like booking it to get it, and accidentally puts it in his own net. It's just it was going to go in the net anyway, but he tried to stop it.
2-1 San Jose, 7-4 Edmonton.
7-4. Wow.
Woof.
Anyway, shout out to Tyler Mott, Ryan Hartman, Vince Hinostroza, Nick Schmaltz, and Michael Kempney, who are all rookies in the Hawks lineup, in the starting lineup right now. Michael Roosevelt, I don't think, played, but Ryan Kempney took his spot. He's on the second D pairing, so I think he's going to be pretty good. And who's the? I believe it's the right winger. If not, it might be left. Who's the top line for the Chicago Blackhawks?
I know this.
I think I know the answer.
Who's
Okay.
one of the wingers on the Chicago's first line?
Who scored last night?
Is Taves the center?
Yes.
Taves is the center. Is Hossa on that line as well?
Think so.
Doesn't matter who the left winger is because the right winger is Richard Panik.
Panik attack.
Who panicked a goal in the net.
Hey, I still like Richard Panik.
I don't know why. It was like
was a
Tampa gave
strange
him up for
move.
nothing, and
Very
then we gave him up
strange
for
move.
nothing. It was weird. Weird.
He's like Jeremy Morin, but useful.
Yeah. So
mysterious
Jesse,
player.
before we do the press conference, you had something you wanted to bring up, and Jesse brought this up to me yesterday. I don't know what it's about, but he's like, I had something.
First, we should open the presents we got.
Oh, we have presents.
We did. I handed them.
Present
already.
time. Open a present. See what's
All right.
inside.
So the present is from Kenny Burley from Hamilton, Ontario. It's addressed to Jesse Blake, so I'm opening it, but Jesse,
it's for the 3 of us.
Jesse did give it to me to hide away and open. So I just want to be careful. It's shaped. It's a cylinder, so it is shaped like a poster.
It's a missile. It's a
is
World
from
War
Putin.
II.
He gave us a warhead. That's
I heard
cool.
you talking shit about Trump.
Did you hear the Russians, by the way, said that a vote for Trump is a vote for peace, world peace, and if you would elect Clinton, we're going to war?
No.
You
That's not real.
People just saying stuff. Whatever.
Now, this is the part where I wear this like a robotic arm.
I don't know what this is, but there are several posters here, and I'm just going to be very careful with this tape because you don't want to be not careful. Okay. So Kenny Burley has a shop called Burley Art. He's an artist. He's also
What city?
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
The hammer.
Yeah, Hamilton. And you can find him on Instagram at Burley Art. Wow.
Whoa!
So he painted us.
Oh, that's so dope. He painted that?
Oh, wow.
I think he painted that, and then he printed it. And so I think there's
Oh, God.
So it's a
Here, get that heartfut note out of the way. I gotta see the picture.
It's a Toronto Maple Leafs poster that is definitely watercolor, I think.
Hold it up to the camera there.
And it says,
Whoa.
all right, so it says, so there's a big Toronto Maple Leaf, and then there's the Toronto Cityscape, which is beautifully done in that black pen, and it says honor, pride, and courage. Kenny, this is beautiful.
Just like the inside of your jersey there, Jesse.
Oh, is that what it's
on the
like?
color? Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Me neither. When I got it.
So
yeah.
here, you can hang on to that if you want.
Ow. I should take this off.
So there you go. So we all got the same. I'm going to frame that and put that up in my house.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh my
here's
God,
what
yeah.
Kenny says to Adam, Jesse, and Steve.
Are they all the same? Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah.
To Adam, Jesse, and Steve. Guys, are you going to pay attention to this?
No.
Kenny's written us a heartfelt note. Can we listen to this, please? All right.
Yes.
To Adam, Jesse, and Steve. I'm a longtime listener, and like all of you, a hardcore Leafs fan. During the last year's Blue Jays playoff run, I was inspired to create some fan art, and with the 100th anniversary of the Leafs being this year, I created a piece and sent it to you. So from one Leafs fan to another, I hope you all enjoy this. Keep doing what you're doing. Go Leafs go, and also let's go Blue Jays. Kenny Burley at burley.art on Twitter. Kenny, good Canadian kid. This is actually beautiful, and I'll be taking this home and framing this. This is amazing. It's
Absolutely.
actually it's beautiful.
That's going in the basement.
And that's amazing. What did you want to bring up though, Jesse?
Oh, last night Oilers Twitter freaked out because they announced a new burger along with their new arena.
Oh, is this NHL promotion?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. Before you get to the burger, did you see the Daryl Cates interview?
Did Daryl Cates?
Is he okay?
Well, Daryl Cates. Is it true? And I'm not sure. I read this on Twitter. Did you see the interview?
Yeah.
Okay. Did John Shannon ask him what his inspiration was?
And did
Daryl Cates actually say himself?
Oh, I don't
I
remember.
saw that on Twitter as well.
Yeah,
I don't
know
remember.
if that's
I might
true.
have missed the first part.
I'm gonna watch that because I haven't seen the full 10-minute piece.
Oh, it's 10 minutes? Okay, so I didn't see the whole thing. I saw the segment before the...
I couldn't tell if
Leafs
someone was
game.
being sarcastic, but man.
No, there was just something about him and the way he talks, and I expected him to say, I spilled spot remover on my dog, now he's gone. Like with his Stephen Wright delivery, and just eyes that did not match his voice at all. They were wide open. There was something
apparently
weird there. It's like he rolled out of bed in a suit and did the interview.
Apparently, the deal to get Gretzky to sign on as a chairman or of whatever thing that he's the chairman of, which is
another here's a job.
Yeah, that's such a
I mean,
here's a
I
job.
hate to say that about my new bestie who I just met, but I mean,
Come on. But apparently, it took them a while to hammer that out, and it was actually finished up midnight last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not last night. Like after the game, it was right the midnight before the game. Basically.
oh wow,
So
Tuesday into Wednesday.
Yeah, at midnight.
Wow,
Crazy. So yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. Edmonton's interesting.
And then they did the interview right after, I guess.
I guess so.
I mean, like, John Shannon's energy did not match Daryl Cates'. John Shannon was like, all right, we're doing this interview. So you built this colossal fucking arena, right? And Cates is like, yeah, we totally built this colossal fucking arena. I was just like, I was very weirded out by it.
I wonder if
It's a very weird vibe. And I guess he's not used to being interviewed. Maybe
yeah.
Because supposedly he doesn't do interviews, according to Mr. Shannon. So
So
there you go.
why did he do an interview?
Because he's promoting his Rogers Arena, which, by the way, looks amazing.
Rogers.
Well, it's really for him, Rexall.
Yeah, and he's one of, I think teams around the league, teams in sports are realizing they can't just be sports owners. So he builds Rogers Arena. It's for the Oilers. It connects to another building across the street. It's going to be big for concerts. They're supposedly, what are they building? Condos? And one of the buildings is going to be 70 stories. It's going to be the tallest building in Canada west of Toronto.
Calgary's not going to take too kindly to that.
Nope, they'll
We'll
have
see
to
how
build
long
a
that
71.
lasts. Oh, they will.
71, and it's going to have a cowboy hat
And
as
if
a
you
roof.
haven't met a Calgarian, you don't know what we're talking about. But believe me, Calgary will not take too kindly to that.
Cowboy hat as a roof, I'm telling you. I mean, the Sabres have a similar setup where Terry Pagula has basically rebuilt Buffalo. MLSE is an empire. They own the apartment building or condo building, whatever it is, across the street from the ACC. They own Maple Leaf Square. Daryl Cates is just kind of following suit. Be nice if you put a winning hockey team on the ice.
He might just have one.
Well, hey, they're first place right now.
That's right.
The Leafs are hot on their tail, though.
What's the burger?
Oh, okay. So,
So about that.
Bob Nicholson, CEO of the Edmonton Oilers, they wrote a long article on the Rogers Place website about how he came up with a new burger. He sat with the chefs.
Oh, Bob Nicholson sat with the chefs, did he?
He went back. There's a picture with him with the head chef of Rogers Place.
Get out, Bob Nicholson.
I mean,
Bob
this
Nicholson,
chef,
Master Chef.
Yeah.
This chef has been working their whole life up to this point. They went to culinary arts school. They've been cooking. It's been a passion of theirs. They worked all their way up to be working for an NHL team. But we need a hockey executive's opinion
That's
on
right.
this.
This is the most hockey executive thing that I've ever heard, by the way.
It gets worse.
Oh,
okay.
Because in the end, the burgers, this is a quote from the chef. It's a classic bacon cheeseburger loaded up with some fresh veggies. You can't go wrong.
Fair enough.
So, brand new burger. It's made with premium Alberta beef, as you would expect.
As you would hope.
It better be. It's in Alberta.
But everybody started freaking out once they let off with the article about the clever name for the burger
Oh, no.
that Bob Nicholson invented.
So was that his contribution, or was it him going down there going, guys, we need a burger like every other burger every fan who's ever walked in here has had most times when they've had a burger in the
Nicholson's Doghouse.
No, Nicholson, he said he was very involved. He had a private meeting with them.
Oh,
with the
I
chef.
bet.
He gave them some ideas.
A private
for
meeting
the-
as in they went to Starbucks, or...
He gave them ideas for the secret sauce, and he said, we nailed it.
Bob, thank
Shut
goodness. Thank goodness. They got Bob Nicholson's. You know what? This is exactly like...
That's a direct quote from him, by
This
the
is
way.
exactly like Bill Burr's impression of Steve Jobs, because he didn't actually do anything. He just walked around Apple headquarters eating an apple going, hey, there's another one. I was reading a book the other day, flipping all the pages. I want to do that with my finger. Figure it out. Good luck. Good luck ever seeing your kids again. Sacrifice your evenings and weekends. Make that shit a reality. All he did was bark orders at people. All right. Here, I got one. Ketchup, mayo, stir them together, put it on the burger. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, red and white kind of makes orange just like our fucking team. You're welcome.
This is so obnoxious.
Actually, red and white is pink, but anyway.
So obnoxious. All right.
So, in the end, Bob Nicholson settled on.
Oilergers.
Is this for a name, right?
The Oilerger.
This is the name of
you
the
say it's the Oilerger?
The Ed Mountain Burger. The Oilerger. I like the Oilerger.
I feel like Messier because it's messy. It might be a messy burger. So like a messy. It's like doing NHL headlines again.
The Great Burger. The Connor McBurger.
Connor McBurger.
Connor McBurger.
Come on.
No, that's too good. They would never come up with that. It's
Connor
too
Mc.
creative.
No, it's too good.
The 99 Burger. What? Nope, they already have that at Wayne Gretzky's
The
restaurant.
Eric grab this burger. That's what I'm going with. By the way, they waived Eric Garvey yesterday, I think so.
Jordan M. Burgley.
The Yesy, pull your wallet out of your pocket and buy this delicious burger that Bob Nicholson made.
They missed out on having the nail yakka patty.
That's awesome.
They could have had the nail yakka patty.
So, Bob Nicholson named the burger.
Bob Nicholson named it.
Bob Nicholson named it the Daryl Cates Burger, brought to you by Rogers. Brought to you by Rogers. The Milan...
The Doug weight gain burger.
Oh.
I don't know.
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Cleverly named
Okay.
the Bobby Nix Burger.
He named it after...
He named it after himself! The CEO of the team!
No, he did not.
You know, we had a conversation earlier this show about who's going to be the most fun team to watch off the ice. And we said Vancouver, and we said Columbus. How could we not mention the Edmonton Oilers? Because you know what? Even with Connor McDavid there, and you know what? I disagree with some of the moves Chiarelli's made, but he's done well. The team's better. They are still the Edmonton Oilers. Without Kevin Lowe, they are still the Edmonton Oilers.
It's amazing that it's only a burger,
And, look,
and yet it is absolutely the Edmonton Oilers. It's nothing actually special, and they're saying "fuck you" to outside opinions.
yeah. I feel like it's
Hey,
like...
here's what I would put in this burger. I'm a chef.
I bet. Wait, okay. Are you guys ready?
I'm a chef-ass chef. You see the hat?
It says it on my freaking...
You're Bob Nicholson.
He is wearing the hat in the photo.
He is wearing the hat.
The chef is wearing that, and Bob Nicholson is wearing a Bob Nicholson Rogers Place garment. How much does the chef hate him right now in that picture? Because you have to earn that. You have to earn to like that's a thing in a kitchen. You got to earn that cloth. And the fact that Bob Nicholson walks in, photo op. Oh, and I named the burger after myself, and it's got lettuce, tomatoes, and bacon, and some mayo, and some ketchup. Okay, photo op. We're done. I'm gonna go back to figuring out how much Wi-Fi is gonna be in the building. How did that meeting go? Let's go into that. How did the meeting go between Bob Nicholson and the chef? How do you think that went?
Okay, introduce yourself as the chef.
Hi, I'm the chef.
All right, so here's my idea. I think that's how every Oilers meeting starts.
Or is it?
So here, you be Tyler Dello, trying to give me your analytics consulting. Okay.
So here's the.
So here's my idea. Here, tell me about how Martin Marinson's a good defenseman.
Martin Marincin.
Well, you know what I think. Go ahead and tell me how we shouldn't trade Taylor Hall.
I don't.
Adam Larson. Holy fuck!
Holy
fuck! Oh, the Oilers. God, you're so lucky. Connor McDavid's good.
I just find it so funny. It's almost like. I don't know why they would even make a big stink about a bacon burger. Like it's so funny that, and it's so funny that the guy, if you're a fan, the person you should care least about is the president and CEO of your team. You don't care who they are. I didn't know who the president and CEO of the Leafs were growing up. I now know it was Richard Petty, but I didn't know. Who the hell cares? I don't think Richard Petty would walk in here, and we've had him on. I don't think he would walk in and say, yeah, I think the
Petty Patty.
Yeah, the Petty
I never saw the Petty Patty. I did see Berkey's Doghouse, though.
But is it not a little bit strange that he comes in and names a burger after himself? Like, that's weird, right?
Yes.
That's weird. And I would say that to Bob Nicholson. I'm sure he's a nice man, but that is a little obnoxious.
Well, have the fans frank. You're giving it back to the fans. It's a hot dog for the fans by the fans, Frank.
And the thing is like, I wonder if when Bob Nicholson interjected with the chef and said, but I have this great idea. I wonder if he said this: when my family has a barbecue and I'm on the old grill, here's what I do. And it's a classic. Here's a classic combination. And I bet there was a PowerPoint presentation.
Again, chef-ass chef owns a barbecue. Chef-ass chef owns a barbecue.
But president of the team.
That's like me walking into a Mexican restaurant and going, I've made fajitas a few times. And you know what? I got to tell you, no one got food poisoning, and they tasted good.
Can Edmonton Oilers fans do us a favor?
If you go to Rogers Place,
please go to Rogers Place and buy the Nick Burger.
The Bobby
Nick's burger. How dare you?
The Bobby Nick's burger. By the way,
the Neil Yakka patty.
Who has ever called Bob Nicholson Bobby Nicks? And if we ever have him on this show, I'm calling him Bobby Nicks because he called himself that. So we
got Bobby Nicks there.
Hey, bud, we got Bobby Nicks on the show, bud.
Have you had one of those Oilers?
That would be better. At least it would have been about the team. It should be about the team and the players and the fans and potentially even the history. Like the great one would have been fantastic.
Anything except naming it after yourself, really.
Jesse Puglia Harvey's. Sorry. I tried because
Harvey's makes your hamburger a beautiful thing.
Because Harvey's.
I get it. No American listener knows what Harvey's is. It's a Canadian burger joint, and it's pretty good.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away by that. And I really hope. I don't know that Daryl Cates said this, but what I read on Twitter yesterday, it would just be so funny. It's like, what's your greatest inspiration? Oh, myself. Like, that would be so great. That's the most Kanye West, Mike drop. I doubt he said it.
I kept reading.
Oh, okay.
What did you keep reading?
I kept reading the article on Bobby Nick's burger.
Oh,
great.
We have another layer.
I love it. Jesse's got that face.
Is it mustard or mayo, Jesse? This next layer.
They decided to put lettuce on the burger.
So I take French's and I mix it with Dijon, and it's fucking unreal. You gotta try it. Let's sell that shit. You ever mix steak mustard with regular mustard? They're both yellow, but they taste totally different. How's that possible? Throw it on a burger. $1 million right there. Bobby Nix.
So, if you go to Rogers Place, this is important information because the Bobby Nix burger will be available to fans on both the upper and lower concourse.
Hey, you see that? You see that? Everyone can have it. It's not just the fancy people in the lower bowl. You cheap fucks upstairs can have one too. You can also sample what I have in my backyard.
At 6 different concession stands, as well as a permanent Bobby Nix grill on the west side of the main concourse.
So Oilers fans, let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have that for a while. Then Brian Burke, Bobby Nicholson is going to get fired. And then you're going to have to change the name of it. And every time you see it, you're going to be like, I know what that really is. The Leafs still have it.
The hot dog house?
It's called something else's doghouse. But it's like, even the font's the same. The drawing's the same. It's Berkey's doghouse without Berkey because he got fired.
So take a trip down to Bobby Nix Grill, get a Bobby Nix burger.
And by the way, when you go to get the Bobby Nix, I want video. I want to look at it. I want you to pull it apart. I want you to show us how and I will run the clips on this show. You send me that clip, okay? I want to know everybody that has a Bobby Nix burger. I want to know your experience. I want to know how it tastes. I want to know how the service was. Everything. And you buy it from the Bobby Nix Grill itself. And also, show us what else is on the menu at the Bobby Nix burger. What other menu items do you think is on
Daryl Kate's catfish sandwich.
The Kate's fish sandwich. Some of that fresh Edmonton fish.
Buy it from Jesse Pugliaharvey's.
Oh, there's a picture of him holding it.
Oh, that's a big ass burger.
Oh, it's got 2 patties too, and they put the lettuce and tomato in between the patties. Whoa! Not just on top of them like McDonald's.
Get the Connor McBurger.
What are let's go through some other names for other food items.
I'm trying to go through
like
their
if it's a
lineup
grill,
here.
it's a grill. They're gonna have grill things, so they gotta have. You think hot dogs? You gotta think maybe they got some pulled pork or something. Maybe
you know what?
Although it's not really grill.
To go with your burger, you know what? Sometimes it's a little bit salty. You're gonna get a little thirsty. Mm-hmm. You need some Matt Hendricks. You need some Matt Hendricks to go with your burger. That's what you need. Maybe you want something that's slower to sip. You want a drink that you can Darnell nurse.
No. Well, if you're in the mood for wine, why not try this?
Talbot's halibut.
This Leon dry cider white wine from the
Canada dry cider.
Dry cider.
Dry cider.
Yeah, dry cider. There you go.
Have a dry side of fries.
Or, and they had to cross this out, and they crossed it out in black marker on the menu. The Chris versus Stiegel Radler, because he signed in Calgary.
Maybe if you want to get a group of drinks for your friend, you could get a Zach Kasian of beer.
Oh, shit! That was awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Who's this?
If you're looking for more finger food, you should get yourself some Ryan Nugget Hopkins.
Maybe if you want a really unsmooth tasting beer, you can get one with a lot of hopskins.
Oh! Or maybe you're sober and you want a Ryan Nugent Popkin.
Or a Luchichkin sandwich.
Gustafson.
What?
No!
The Monster?
Yeah,
Monster Energy drink.
Obviously.
Yeah. Jonas Monster Energy drink.
Oh, that's
Gustafson.
perfect.
Anyways.
Just perfect.
I love that Jonas Gustafson is still playing in the NHL.
Hey, you got to respect the hustle. Who else is on that team? Bring up general manager.
Adam Larson. Chris Russell.
You can buy things from the Adam Barson. No. Chris Russell.
Patrick Maroon.
I feel like rustle up some grub.
Maroon pie.
Would they start serving maroon?
They call him Big Rig.
Lucic? We got anything for Lucic?
I'm trying to think. It's got to be something.
I thought it was like a Luchichkin sandwich.
Oh.
Luchichkin sandwich. What? I said that before.
No, that's good. I like it. I need a Lucic sandwich.
I want a Darnell Nurse my beverage still. That was so great.
Get an Andre Sakir rack of ribs.
Oh my God.
Shoehorn that
We are reaching so hard right now.
in there a little bit.
What's a poulet? So a pouliot sandwich?
Oh,
Just
pouliot.
Oh, it's chicken.
Chicken sandwich, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, French, yeah.
pouliot. Benoit pouliot.
Okay. Sandwich.
that's a
Pouliot sandwich, yeah.
That's a little inside there.
Yeah.
Who else do we have on the team?
Well,
Who else on the team?
this is slowly done. Should we stop?
Did we hit our peak?
Anton Lander. We got there. Launder.
Oh, man.
We still don't have an Eberle anything.
Well, we sort of did.
Jordan
Steve.
Ebberger.
No.
It's the Jordan Eberle burger. It's out of this Eber League. Out of this.
You know what?
Come on.
We've been talking about all this unhealthy, fattening arena food. You need to eat some greens and Jordan Eber leaves.
Oh.
So
Tyler
Dylan.
Pitlick.
Ooh. So Tyler Pitlick's ice cream stand is where you go to get ice cream, obviously,
Yes.
because Tyler Pitt licks.
Yeah.
Tyler Pitt licks. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, that works.
Mark Fane.
I think we're dead. I think it's done.
A fantastic meal.
The fantastic burger.
Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Okay, Jesse, let's limit it to like one or two here because we're running out of time. And quite frankly, I'm mentally and emotionally exhausted.
God, Bob Nicholson's just trying to make a burger for people to enjoy.
You don't
But fuck
name
that
it after
shit.
yourself, man. Don't
Bobby
do that.
Nick's burger.
I'm calling
We don't
Bobby
even
Nicks.
know if was it his suggestion? Was he like,
Yeah, you
name
know
it
what?
after me?
I doubt we're assuming that. It probably wasn't.
It probably wasn't, but that won't stop us from being big jerks.
I think
he could
Bob
say
Nicholson.
no.
I think Bob. Yeah, he can say no, and he can also. Well, hopefully, you would think appreciate a little bit of humor at his expense. If you're going to put yourself in the public eye, as we often do, and there's much fun made at our expense. So if you're going to do the same, expect this to
Yeah,
happen.
I highly doubt the Leafs were like, we're going to call it Broad Street Grill. And Burke was like, fuck you, Berkey's Doghouse.
They're trying to market their executives, which is weird. You shouldn't be marketing your executives. You should be marketing your players.
That's true.
The Leafs are not marketing Mike Babcock as much as he was, press conference and that sort of
No,
thing. He's not-
Babsox is doing that plenty for
Yeah,
him.
really. Anyway, continue.
Patrick Nolan. If you're trying to tank for him, you're digging a hole in for Nolan.
Oh, dear.
I like it.
That's from our Reddit
It's
page.
tossing
W18.
for Austin was terrible. So I like the
Toss
whole
one for Austin.
No, lost one for Austin.
Oh, that's
thought it
better.
was.
Yeah.
But, okay, so what have we had over the years? We've had Fall for Hull.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't,
A McDavid one.
no
Oh,
Dishonor for Connor.
dishonor for
Was that an
Connor.
actual thing?
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
2014. Who was the first overall pick? Oh, Ekblad. I think it was Be Bad for Ekblad. Not winning for Nate McKinnon.
Wow.
Fail for Nail is.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Which
What was the Nuge one? I don't think there was a Nuge one.
Was it a Tavares one?
Not that I remember.
now we like
probably too
anything
far
pre
back.
2011. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't because there wasn't the online community.
There wasn't a
is now.
hashtag.
No,
Yeah.
no Starez for Tavares.
What?
Lose most for Stamkos. It was 2007.
Patrick Kane.
Be a stain for Kane.
Oh,
2006.
Eric Johnson.
Suck anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Crosby.
lottery.
Lottery Crosby.
Let's just get back to playing hockey.
Yeah. This is another one where we peaked, but let's keep going
We
for
kept
10 more.
Yeah.
Now we're done.
Okay. Final question from Astromaster13, always with the best questions on Reddit. If you ate a lot of popcorn kernels before you died, would they pop if you got cremated?
There's only one way to find out. Reboot. No, because they would get all soggy in your stomach acid.
Oh, that's a good answer.
That is a good
Well
answer.
done.
Wow. That's the high note we're ending on. Don't screw this up for me. Podcast is done for today. We have a huge event, obviously, Saturday. Marley's, buy your tickets. It's $20. Then Hockey Night in Cinema at the Review Cinema right here in downtown Toronto. Yes, we will try to stream the Jays game along with the Leafs one. Huge game Saturday night. If you're not hanging out with us, make sure you're watching the Leafs feed because the opening ceremony is going to be amazing. Jesse, yes.
Who wins the Stanley Cup? I forgot to ask this last show before the season. Who'd you pick?
Oh my dear Jesus, Tampa Bay.
Smashville.
Washington is the correct answer.
Washington is the correct answer. But Smashville. I'm still going for that just for poetic justice.
Jesse Pugliahavarti.
Oh my God.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.